Hi, we're here today with Giovanna Rossi with the Well Women Life on today's episode of Up Close. So, welcome, Giovanna. How are you today?
Great to be here. Thanks, Val.
Oh, I'm so glad you're here. I know we were just talking about your trip to England this summer. What a fantastic trip.
Yeah.
Well, tell me about Well Women Life.
So I started Well Women Life we're about to celebrate our 4th anniversary. But really it started as a radio show when I was with Governor Richardson's office as his health policy advisor. So I have a long history of work with women's health and policy, and it just sort of grew out of that. And it's a membership community for women who want to live their best life.
And that's here in the name, Well Women. Well, I found you. I forgot where I found you, but I went down to the Q Bar and came down and found that. And I really like that you like to focus on the woman being well, because when we're busy entrepreneurs, we don't really get that in. So tell me more about that focus that you have on that, and even some more about your events.
Yeah, so this is very personal to me, as well as it's been my professional background for 20 years, working in women's health and policy and social justice for women. But it became very personal to me when I started having a family, having my own children, balancing a very high-pressure job and working for the governor and raising babies. And I thought, I'm going to talk about this on my radio show with women. And
very relatable.
Yes, and women on the show said, we want to talk more about this. Can we do this in person? Let's get together for drinks. And so it's sort of emerged as this Well Women Drinks event that we do every month. And it's always the third Wednesday of the month, Well Woman Wednesday. And we get together to support each other. And we're all pretty much high-achieving women. I mean, that's how we sort of define it. High-achieving women who are really up to something. So in their work life, in their professional, life, in their personal life. And
how do they balance all that together? So if you're incorporating some of the well things you should do for yourself that make you well, self-care, those kind of things, balancing that all out.
So we have basically 4 quick things that any woman can do to start living a well woman life, which is what we talk about. And the first one is really difficult for most women, and that is to start saying no.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it's really hard. As women, we tend to want to please, we want to nurture, we want to take care of everything, we want to be useful and helpful, and we say yes to everything, even if we're, inside we're thinking, oh no, I don't want to do that. We say, oh yes, I'd love to do that. And you're thinking,
and then later you're going, why did I say that?
Yeah, why did I say that? So it's about really starting to set those boundaries. And when you say no to something, a yes opens up somewhere else. So we really try to talk about that. The second one is to stop apologizing. So as women, we say sorry a lot. And it's not just, saying sorry when you need to say sorry about something. But it's really about that apologetic behavior that we have as women, like just not really standing in our power.
Right.
We're sort of.
Where does that root from? Have you? That's a very common. Yeah, I've got that.
Yeah,
you've got that probably.
Yeah. We all struggle with it, and it's about a lot of things, I think, but generally speaking, women have a harder time with it. And so what we try to do with Well Woman Life is support and empower women to stand in their power and not be apologetic for their actions and their words.
Okay, so there's 2 things that are relatively easy, but yet hard.
Yes, and the third one is to reclaim the word selfish. So selfish usually has a negative connotation, but really we want to say, you know what, it's okay to put yourself first.
Right.
You take care of your kids, your parents, your pets, your job, your boss, your colleagues, everyone. And so it's
you won't be able to if you don't take care of yourself.
And that goes into the 4th one, which is self-care. But you have to reclaim being selfish a little bit in order to get to do the self-care, right? So the 4th one is self-care, and that is literally figuring out how can I take care of myself so that I can be who I need to be for everybody else.
I heard years ago about splitting the word selfish into 2 words, and if you don't fish for yourself.
There you go.
It's kind of a different way of looking at it.
Yeah.
I know that, the whole reason for starting this really was because you were having the kids. How old are your kids now?
So now they're 5 and 8.
5 and 8, great.
Yeah, and the little one just started kindergarten. So
did you have a sad mommy moment?
It was.
I bet.
It was kind of hard to.
But yet you're glad because you're, moving into a new phase, perhaps of, your kids growing up. And
yeah, but it's hard. It's hard to make that transition.
Yeah.
But ultimately, she's doing really well. Talk about finding her voice. She is really emerging as a leader in her classroom, and she's just really enjoying it. So,
that's awesome.
But part of starting Well Woman Life was that I really decided I needed to design my life to be what I wanted it to be, and not just
instead of being a victim of what was just happening.
Instead of working for someone else all the time, although I loved my job and my career, I thought I'm going to do this, and I'm going to start my own consulting business. I'm going to be available to make smoothies for my 2-year-old at 2 in the afternoon if I want to. Or, now it's, about like being able to pick my kids up from school if I want to, or if they need me. And so I've designed my life that way. And you mentioned my trip this summer. We lived in Europe for 6 weeks this summer.
Who gets to do that? So awesome for designing your life.
So it's about making the choices, making the decision about how you want to live your life, what's important.
Who influenced you in that way, would you say?
I have to say the number one influencer has been my mom.
Oh, and she's turning 80 this year.
She's turning 80 this year. She was a single mom, raised me and my sister alone. We didn't have money when I was, growing up. It was a struggle. And I watched her and her strength and her resilience and her commitment to making things happen. And now that's my motto, my hashtag, make it happen. I just,
and your commitment. That's where you get your commitment from.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. And I've met your mom. She's, chip off the old block, as they say.
Her strength inspires me. And other people, too, inspire me, like Gloria Steinem and her, leading the women's rights movement for decades now. And just strong women in the community, just people like you inspire me. I mean,
thank you.
Yeah, I look at other women. And,
same thing. Somebody who's doing something and not afraid to go out there and do it. Those are the kind. I don't always have a name of somebody. It's that type of person, that type of woman is really. What do you think is your greatest strength? And I think you've hit on it already.
Oh,
your greatest strength is your commitment. That's what I see. Is your commitment to women and impacting women in some way. And I know you've got a retreat coming up. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so we do an annual retreat now. We're coming up on our 3rd annual retreat. It's called the Well Woman Superpower Retreat, because we want to really support women to find and activate their superpowers. We all have them. We all have these superpowers that are innate, they're internal, they're always there. We just don't activate them. And so what we do is we walk you through this retreat and really empower you to step into that so that when you leave, you're really ready to tackle whatever it is in your life, your personal life, your professional life. I also talk about a 3rd area of our lives, your public life, which is, some women are running for office now. Some women are, sitting on boards, doing all kinds of community work.
That's interesting because we all have the public life, but some are in it more than others. So I tend to shy away from that. But we need to, so that we're paving the way for the other women behind us.
And
I'm curious about your show and the type of women that you're interviewing, or the type of women you like to interview, and who you like to have as speakers for the events that you have for the Well Women Drink events.
Yeah. So our speakers and guests on the show, the Well Woman Life podcast and radio show, it's on KUNM, and also it's on iTunes every week as a podcast. And I interview people all the way from regular women just who are badasses, basically, who are like really, making it happen for themselves in their lives, to very famous people like Julia Cameron, who wrote The Artist's Way, and Byron Katie, who is the author of the work.
I saw that. I read that interview on the Natural Awakenings. Yeah. Great interview.
And I interview a lot of like Oprah's, Soul Sunday guests, like Dr. Shefali, and who is the author of Conscious Parenting, and also Deepak Chopra's daughter, Malika Chopra, has been on the show. So I really try to bring inspiring women with real information, like real tools. And that's part of the benefit of listening to my show, is that you get actual hands-on, like worksheet, checklists, things that you can download and print and use.
Great.
As a result of listening to the show.
That's awesome. Very good. So that brings that right around to networking and how important you think networking is. I don't think you would probably be able to get that type of speaker on your show if you wouldn't have been doing some networking over your career.
Yeah, it's so funny. I just, I don't really resonate with the word networking, even though it's clearly very important. I think of it as relationship building.
Absolutely.
Which is what it is,
right?
And so whatever I do and wherever I am, I'm building relationships and deep connections with people.
Right.
And that just naturally leads to awesome things.
Yes, it does.
If you think of it as a relationship that you're building, rather than, well, I just need to network with this person, talk to that person, and give them my business card.
Right. That's the whole key.
And as you know, at Well Woman Drinks, we don't do that.
Right.
We connect deeply.
Well, it's over a drink too, if you choose to have one. But it's in an informal setting where people can get a little looser and share what they're doing, their tips for getting well. I remember the one at Casa Rendena, so relaxed, and we forget to do these things for ourselves. And the four things. Say that real quick again. Saying no. Quit apologizing.
Yeah, saying no. No, not saying sorry. Being selfish.
And self-care. Giovanna, it's been a pleasure. Where can people reach you and find out about all this great stuff you're doing?
Yes. Check out wellwomanlife.com. And you can always email me at info@wellwomanlife.com. Check me out on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. And I hope to see some of you out at one of our events.
Sounds great. Thanks, Giovanna, again.
Thank you,
You're a great
Val.
friend and great support of me, and I'd love to be the support of you. And we'll see you around town.
Thank you.